While one program in Massachusetts is taking notes from the famous playwright and rethinking the justice system for young people. Emily Reppert has the story.
The human mortals want their winters here.
To act or not to act? That is the question. But it could also be the answer to helping juveniles who have committed crimes in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Like this teen who plays Rosalind. We're using their stage names to protect their identities.
It is for kids who need to get away from the trouble, quote unquote, so they put them in this program.
And why, I pray you?
It's a 6-week program called Shakespeare in the Courts, an alternative in the Berkshire County juvenile court system to more traditional forms of punishment like probation or even prison.
Some are on misdemeanors, which could be disturbing a school assembly or disturbing the peace or disorderly conduct, all the way up to some felonies. If there was some breaking and entering or something that's a little more serious, we could possibly see a child here for that too.
What did you think when you received that sentence?
Oh, I hated it.
Oftentimes they would rather do anything else. I mean, go to jail. Jail they kind of knew. Doing a play, especially Shakespeare, performing in public, memorizing lines, wearing, silly costumes. They wanted no part of it. No part of it.
But in time, these teens do start playing the part.
I would say about like the second week, maybe even the first week, I was like, wow, this is really fun. Why did I not like this?
Because after 17 years, the program, which is a collaboration with Shakespeare and Company, is still being used, which means they must be doing something right.
It's just a better outlet to be here.
Gives you less of a chance of getting in trouble.
It's set up for them to be able to do something positive that they can do. They can learn this, they can get through it, and it takes up their time, so they're doing something positive.
Faith.
From learning basic theater skills to working together as an ensemble,
You can have a lot of fun going back and forth between the two of them, yeah?
the hope is the skills they acquire here will play out in other aspects of their life.
How do you walk into a room and greet people? How do you learn to make new friends? How do you work together to make somebody else look really good? And what happens when it's not all about what I need in that moment, and what if it's about what everybody needs and we can work collectively together?
So why Shakespeare?
I didn't really know Shakespeare at all. Actually, I just only know Romeo and Juliet, but yeah, that's about it.
Well, it turns out the 16th century playwright and poet may have more in common with these teens than you think.
We think that the language of Shakespeare is just as relevant today as it was when it was written.
Off with the crown and with the crown his head.
And I think we experience that time and time again where these kids find themselves really connecting to words that he has written.
Who committed treason, for God's sake.
They're kind of intimidated by it. But once they start working on it, they go, oh, I know what's going on. I understand what this is wild. I like what this is saying.
Here's to my love.
And after 6 weeks of playing the part, in front of family, friends, and parole officers, the whole world's a stage.
Over the course of it, they change. So I would never say that this project fixes them. But then going to jail doesn't fix them either. Picking up trash on the highway doesn't fix them. What it does do is it gives them an experience of themselves that they've never had.
I like acting because you're stepping into somebody else's shoes. You get to know how they feel, and I think that's actually really cool.
I just really like how I got to meet new people, how I got to express myself more, how I got to be like me.
Emily Reppert, Channel 1 News.